We call up music by pushing a button. For the first thousands of years, music was learned by ear, listening to others playing, recognizing the sounds, what to play, where to put our fingers, and when to move those fingers to change chords, rhythm, and melody. Around 900 years ago, a monk named Guido finally perfected a way to fit a music piece onto a sheet of writing. Then others could follow it and play together from the same page, in orchestras. Rhythm was portrayed along the writing direction, what we call the x-axis. Higher and lower sound pitches were portrayed vertically on the page, what we call the y-axis. Ancient people knew that sound had harmonic ratios we later termed frequencies. They learned that doubling a string or making it half the length gave a note that sounded similar, and this became known as the octave. That octave was then divided into portions. For example, 2/3 along the length of a string made a pleasant sound, but some ratios were irritating. A culture can choose to divide the octave in many ways, and eventually Western culture settled on 12 divisions to the octave, that we call the scale we learn in school. 12 lines representing these tones would quickly fill up a page, so Guido used lines and spaces for his vertical pitch symbols. A staff grid of 5 rows and 4 spaces became the staff notation familiar today. The 5 sharps and flats that we would recognize today as the black keys on a piano might appear less in a song, so instead of getting their own line each, were represented by symbols, only when necessary. Because a song might start at whatever pitch suited the singers and players, Guido gave names to the relative pitches of the scale. The names he chose came from the first letters of a Latin hymn, ut, re, mi, fa, sol, la. Later, ut was replaced by do and t was added, so unlike note names, these are not alphabetical, but we still learn them 900 years later to make the familiar do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. This system is called solfege and movable do. That means we can start our do tone at any pitch, and the 7 tones and their 5 sharps and flats are tuned to it. It took another 600 years before standards were developed for rhythm and melody. Tuning forks were precision-made and shipped all around the world, so that a standard tone of a given frequency, like the note A, would sound the same anywhere. Another precision instrument was the metronome, a clock that ticked to a set speed of rhythm. An orchestral piece written in Germany could then sound the same played in India or outback Australia. These became common in every music studio and classroom. A simple but fundamental innovation of this era was the parallel depiction of the pitch scale by using Roman numerals to portray chords for scale degrees. When we speak of a 1-4-5 song, it could be confusing, as numbers might be referring to beats, bars, or pitches. The Roman numerals help us describe the sequence for the more arbitrary do, re, mi sound names. On a keyboard, we would hear these as the white keys, playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A ukulele would play this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by skipping a fret. This made it easy for pop musicians to share their common sets of chords, describing them as progressions. For example, the famous 12-bar blues progression consists of only 3 chords, described by the Roman numerals 1, 4, and 5. These scale degrees can be portrayed on the vertical y-axis and the 12 bars of rhythm along the page as the horizontal x-axis. In play by ear, we learn these as sounds and use the visual representation mainly as a learning guide. Together, these foundations of movable do, scale degrees, with standards of pitch and timing, help us learn to play by ear a full range of popular music. The most popular instruments, guitar and ukulele, embody this foundation, with one hand providing pitch in the form of chords and the other hand strumming the rhythms. We have tools to tune our instruments to a standard pitch. We have special one-finger chords to demonstrate to newcomers, and our fundamental innovation has been to literally rewrite backing music into these easier chords. We easily know which chord comes next because pop songs are deliberately predictable. That's part of their charm. All that's left is to listen to each other to play in a tight rhythm.